Saucy Bites.
Hey, what's going on? It's Brian, and I'm going to show you how quickly and easily you can build an assistant using the OpenAI Assistants API and quickly train it on your own custom data, and then even how to deploy it out to a website of your own. So to begin with, we're going to come to platform.openai.com. We're going to go underneath the Assistants menu item. We're going to click to create a new assistant. The first thing we're going to do is give it a name. So I'm just going to call this Commerce Doc Bot. I'm going to paste in instructions for my chatbot. So here I'm saying, you are a helpful chatbot. When users ask you questions about the HCL Commerce platform, you will use only the files that have been uploaded to answer those questions. Please provide helpful but brief answers to questions in a friendly and casual style. If a question is asked that isn't included in the documentation, please respond with, "I'm sorry, but I have not been trained on this information yet." Underneath Model, we're going to select the latest version, GPT-4 11.06 Preview. And then underneath Tools, we're going to be taking advantage of the Retrieval plugin. And this is what allows us to train our assistant on our specific business data only. So we're going to go ahead and toggle this on. And then we have the option to upload some files. So what I'm going to do is show you some files that I've created just as sample files for this use case. And what I did was I basically went out to the HCL Commerce product documentation website itself, and I simply copied text from each page and I pasted it into a text document in my code editor. Here's just a quick sample of one of the files that I created. You'll see that it's a product overview. Here's another file that I created. And then I also took text from a blog article that I wrote on the marketing capabilities of the HCL Commerce platform, and I'm going to train my assistant on that data as well. So all we need to do is come over to our assistant and select to add our files. So I'm going to select my 3 files, and I'm just going to say open, and you'll see that those files are now uploading. And I'll go ahead and click Save. Okay, and it says my assistant has been created, so I can now click Test to quickly test the functionality of my assistant. So you'll notice that we have an assistant ID here. We're going to need this in a few minutes, so just make sure to remember where this is located. In the center, we have a thread. Now, with each conversation that our assistant is going to have with a user, each user is going to get their own unique thread. And the nice thing about the Assistants API is that it does remember the context of the thread that a user is having with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, what is HCL Commerce? And I'll just say add and run. And this is just to show you a quick example of how it's going to use the data that I just trained it on to answer my question. Okay, and you'll see that it comes back with an answer that HCL Commerce is a high availability, highly scalable, and customizable e-commerce platform that supports potentially hundreds of thousands of transactions daily. It caters to both business to consumer, B2C, and business to business, B2B models. HCL Commerce employs cloud-friendly technology to simplify deployment and operations. So you'll see that it's using the data that I uploaded, and you'll see that it's actually citing the source documentation here as being the source of this answer. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually walk through the process of how to now deploy this assistant out to an actual front end that we can actually use it with on a website that we manage and maintain. So to deploy the chatbot, I'm going to be using a service called BotPress. In the description of the video, I've provided a template that we can download for a BotPress chatbot that is specifically designed to deploy OpenAI GPTs. And so if we scroll down on the page here, we'll see that there's an option to download this template. So you're going to go ahead and download this file. When it downloads, you'll notice that there is a file with a .bpz extension, and that is the file that we're going to use in a couple steps from now. Okay, so what we're going to do is come over to botpress.com, and we're going to log in with whatever social login we choose. In my case, I just used my Gmail account. You can also create an account right on the BotPress website itself. But once you log in, you're going to come to this default workspace dashboard. And the only option we have here is to create a chatbot. So we're going to go ahead and click Create Chatbot. That'll then redirect us to the BotPress Studio. And we have an option to select from a template. The only template that's enabled here for me is this Learn BotPress. It doesn't matter because we're going to be importing the template that I talked about previously to create the actual flow and functionality of our chatbot. So we're just going to say use template, and it's now going to get to work on creating the actual chatbot itself. Okay, so as you can see, the chatbot's been created. We can see the actual workflow of the chatbot here. Again, this is using the template that I selected when I just selected the template. What we're going to do is come underneath the first icon here, and we're going to select to import and export, and we're going to choose import from file. And here's where we're going to select our bot archive that we just downloaded, that .bpz file. Here's my deploy OpenAI GPT's template with the .bpz extension. So I'm going to select that and say open, and you'll see that the studio is now going to refresh, and the new chatbot has been created. And one of the things that you want to look for to make sure that the template imported correctly is underneath all variables, you want to see the bot.assistant_ID and bot.openAI token variables here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click publish. We'll see that it's publishing. And then we're going to click share. And what share is going to do is it's actually going to create a page that has our bot deployed on it. And so here what we need to do is we actually need to type in configure bot and just hit enter. And this is going to give us some information that the bot needs in order for it to connect to our assistant that we created with OpenAI. So the first step here to configuring it is that we need to go to the assistants page, click the assistant you want to use, and then copy the text that starts with assistant _ and paste it here. So we're just going to come back over to our assistant, and we'll see that we have our assistant ID right underneath the name of our assistant. So we're just going to copy that and then come back and paste that in here and hit enter. And then the only other piece of information we need to give it is an OpenAI API key. So we're going to come over to our OpenAI screen here. I'm going to close out this assistant tab, and I'm going to, from the menu, select API keys, and I'm going to select to create a new secret key, and I'll just call this BotPress. And I'll say create secret key. It's going to generate me a key, so I'm going to copy that to the clipboard, and I'm going to come back over to my configure page, paste that in, hit enter. So it says, congratulations, your bot was successfully set up. You can share it or use it now by sharing this message. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to deploy it to an actual website that we've created. So we can go ahead and close this configure window. And then we're going to come out to the BotPress Studio screen here. And what we're going to do is just click on the first icon and say, go back to the dashboard. From the dashboard, we'll see our chatbot in the list here. We're going to go underneath integrations and then underneath pre-configured. And you'll see here's where you can have a shareable URL that you could send people to use your chatbot. Or you also have the option to embed the chatbot using some script tags. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy these script tags to our clipboard, and we're then going to paste them into our HTML for our sample website. So for this example, I basically went out and just did a quick search for free HTML website templates. And I found a template that I liked, and I downloaded the files. When I launched it, this is the website that I get. You'll see that it's just kind of a modern-looking website here. It's got information on things like reviews and plans that you can sign up for, etc. But one thing it does not have is a chatbot anywhere on the website. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take those embed tags that we were given from BotPress, and we're going to paste them into our HTML for our new website. So I'm not really sure with the HTML if it really matters where you paste the script tags that BotPress provided us. But what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to throw mine near the end of the header. I'm going to come down here to line 79 and just paste in the script tags that BotPress provided. And I'll just go ahead and save these changes. And you'll see my site refresh in the background. And now when I load my site, you'll notice that there's an icon here for a chatbot. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and click on the chatbot icon, and it's going to essentially start a new conversation, and this will create a new thread within the Assistants API. And I'm going to say, please provide a brief explanation of your personalization capabilities. Okay, so I don't know that this is brief, but you can see that it is pulling back. The key personalization features include customer segments, e-marketing spots, marketing content, web activities, dialogue activities, marketing experiments, and search rules and experiments. So I'm going to just say, what is an example of a web activity? Okay, an example of a web activity is a scenario where the recommended products a customer sees on the homepage can be personalized. Here's a step-by-step breakdown of this example. And then it talks about the fact that it all starts with an eSpot trigger. Then we have a branch. And then based on the branches, we have product recommendations, and that we're using our customer segmentation to personalize the experience. So that's pretty good. So let me see. Can you explain how this would work as though I was a 5th grader? See if GPT is able to do what we all have come to know and love about being able to reword things contextually so that it's understood in the context that we're looking for it to be described. Sure. Imagine you have a magical toy box at home that knows exactly which toys you love to play with. When you walk into your room, the toy box sees you and magically puts your favorite toys right on top, so you can see them and play with them right away. In HCL Commerce, there's something like this magical toy box, but for an online store. It's called a web activity. Here's how it works. Number 1, magic spots. The store has special spots on the web page, kind of like shelves, where it can put things you want to see. These are called e-marketing spots. Paths to choose. The store can create 2 paths, like choosing which hallway to walk down at school. One path is for customers who have an account with the store. We'll call them friends of the store. And the other path is for everyone else. 3, choosing toys or products. If you are a friend of the store because you have an account, the store shows you toys or products that it thinks you'll like most on the top shelf of the magic spots. 4, personal touch. The store knows what you like because you're a friend of the store, and it wants to make you happy by showing things it thinks you like. So just like the magical toy box in your room, the store's website tries to show you your favorite stuff as soon as you visit it to make shopping online fun and easy for you. So as you can see, it was able to quickly reword the explanation of what the personalization here is doing in the context of, in this case, a young child. So let me ask it a completely different question. Can I filter the catalog with your platform? Yes, you can filter the catalog with HCL Commerce. The platform provides a catalog filter and pricing tool in the management center. So that's correct. Does your platform have a marketplace capability? Now, one thing I will say too is that the responses for this probably would not work well for a production website. The response from the API is fairly slow. I would say it's taking anywhere between 30 to 60 seconds per question for it to send back the response. And here we go with a description of the marketplace capabilities. That's pretty great. What is the current text editor? I'll just say that. What is the current text editor? Now, recently, we've changed from CK Editor to TinyMCE, so I'm curious whether it is able to get that from the data that I uploaded it, because I know it was in there as part of one of the files. Okay, the current text editor used in HCL Commerce is called CK Editor. It is a rich text editor that you can use to manage content within the platform. So that's not a correct answer. Have you recently upgraded the text editor to something different? See if I can help it a little bit here. Yes, the text editor in HCL Commerce's Management Center has recently been upgraded. CK Editor has been replaced with Tiny MCE Editor version 6.6.0, enhancing the platform's capabilities and providing updated features for managing rich text content. So, as you can see, not a perfect answer here, but then when I asked for clarification, it gave me the correct answer and response.
Rossi Bites.